Hey, this is Kevin Douglas. Playing some more Legacy Slivers. I think we'll keep this hand. We have enough land and a pretty good curve for a pretty aggressive start. Opponent mulligan to 6. Decided to keep 6. Scryed 1 to the bottom. We see an Ancient Tomb. For a Chalice on 1. That's fine because we got Cavern of Souls. We can still play our Gale Ride Sliver. Gale Rider Sliver. And then hopefully that Ancient Tomb is going to do some work for us. And actually, it makes me want to... No, I think I'll still cast the Gale Rider Sliver. Although... We could cast the Virulent Sliver, and if they don't cast a creature next turn, we can cast the Lord and start getting in for poison. And always play like flying on our 3rd turn. So I'm going to go that route. We don't know that we need the evasion right now. And depending on what type of deck they're playing, it makes me wonder if maybe they have a card like Walking Ballista. I'm thinking of like the Mud decks in Vintage. I'm not sure exactly how far the similarities go in Legacy. Okay, so this is going to be one of those red prison decks. We see a Blood Moon. It's really bad for us. And so next game we might want to prioritize a Aether Vial. So there's another Gale Rider Sliver. We can only cast one of these 1-drops a turn, but I think what we want to do is start getting Lords out. And just try to race here. Lightning Greaves. I'm trying to think of what these decks really want to have come in hasty. It's probably not good for us, whatever it is. And so I added Virulent Sliver, not really realizing that the poisonous keyword is how much poison they deal. It's not like Infect where they deal it equal to their power. It's just the whatever the poisonous value is. So I guess if you get multiple Virulent Slivers out at once, then it's fine. But I can maybe see why this wasn't in the original version. So I'm not sure what these like Prison Red decks run in terms of creatures. We saw that Lightning Greaves. Obviously, they want to put something out hasty. Excuse me. But not knowing the format well enough, I'm not totally sure what I want to bring in here. Except for maybe Harmonic Sliver seems good. So maybe instead of a Virulent Sliver, bring in some Harmonic Slivers. That'll help us vial in against like a Blood Moon. Maybe we go like Meddling Mage against the Blood Moon or a Magus of the Moon. If those kind of like Blood Moon decks are really popular in the format, it might not be a bad idea to have like Mana Weft Slivers or something like that in the sideboard that just let our Slivers tap for mana. So there's a couple Harmonic Slivers. We have to be careful because if there's no other target, we might end up destroying our own Aether Vial. We do have Force of Will as well. That's a pretty good answer to a Blood Moon or a Magus of the Moon. So I think maybe we just We just go with 3 harmonic slivers. The thing is, if they land a Blood Moon, it's like we can't really cast it unless we have a unless we have a Aether Vial anyway, or not even really cast it, put it into play. So we have a Force of Will. They're on the play, and we have something we can pitch. So I think we keep here. It's a little bit slow, but we do have a turn 1 play. Something we can pitch to Force of Will. We already have 4 of our 20 lands. You know, hopefully we'll draw into a couple slivers. So we're gonna lead Darksteel Citadel, Mox Diamond, get rid of a mountain. There's 2 land, Grim Monolith. So it's a pretty good acceleration on their part. I mean, maybe I wanted to Force of Will that. But it's kind of a one use right now. And so maybe I just Force of Will whatever they put in with it. And then it stays tapped for a little while. So I do have 2 Force of Wills. I could hold on to both these slivers. They're down to 3 cards. My deck is very creature dense. And so odds are I'm gonna draw some more slivers. So actually, I think I'm just gonna hold on here to both these Force of Wills and just kind of let anything slide that I don't really care about, and just try to Force of Will like the key things that really hurt me. So let's see here. So sacrifice 3 artifacts. I think we can Force of Will this because it could put something into play that we just can't handle. And we'll go ahead and get rid of a Hibernation Sliver. So now this Grim Monolith's going to stay tapped for a little while. They might be able to tap it in a little bit. So there's Goblin Welder. That's kind of annoying. We could Force Will at 2 and they're down to 1. Put us both in a top deck mode. Hopefully our card quality is a little bit better than theirs. Fortunately, most of our slivers are either 1 or 2 drops, and so hopefully if we just kind of draw mostly slivers from here on out, we're just going to be able to kind of run them out turn after turn. Yeah, so there's Gale Rider Sliver. Run out of Sliver Hive. Go ahead and F6. They are down to 1 card. They can't untap their Grim Monolith. So they should be able to do that after too long. They just need to find 1 more mana source. Yeah, so next turn they might be able to... there's Metalworker. Doesn't seem too good against us right now because they have 0 cards in hand. They're not going to really be able to get its benefit. We have Flying. Ancient Ziggurat isn't very good. We are, I guess, working up towards a number of lands to where we can actually use Sliver Hive's ability. But we'll just attack here in F6. Again, I think what would be like the worst thing for them to attack deck is like a Magus of the Moon or a Blood Moon. If they're the kind of deck that runs that. So they'll untap Grim Monolith. Played an Ancient Tomb. Ancient Tomb, I mean, if they use it, it's just going to help us win the race. Right now, we're both pinging at each other with 1/1s. Another Sliver Hive, so we're just ripping like land after land. It's kind of a bummer. Um, but we'll just kind of keep running them out. Eventually we'll turn those into slivers with Sliver Hive. Welder's not good for us. They're gonna be able to get that Kadaltha Forge Master back into play. Here's a Muscle Sliver. Go Sliver there. So the Forge Master doesn't have haste. Again, if you're watching and you're a better Legacy player than me, you might know what they're going to target with that. To me, it's a complete surprise. I'm not sure what they're going to be looking for, so... but it's probably going to be bad for us. So they got a couple different targets they can weld back that Forge Master with. And so hopefully we draw a Sliver here, but if not, at least we can start activating Sliver Hive. Mutavault's not the worst draw. Alright, so they're going to welder back in this Forge Master. And actually it makes me wonder if it's Mindslaver. I think that's a thing. So Spine of Isha. Destroy target permanent. So that is a pretty good target for Welder. And when it's put in the graveyard, return it to its hand. So end of turn, we'll activate Sliver Hive. We can't. Because the Ancient Ziggurat. Yep, that's right. So this next turn we'll be able to. And Crystalline Sliver is great. So this is going to make it so they can't target any of our slivers with the Spine of Isha. So we'll start racing here. So with that, Spine of Isha trigger. Let's see. When it is put into a graveyard, return it to its hand. Makes me wonder if they could have welded it back into play in response. There's Ensnaring Bridge. So they have one card in hand, so we'll still be able to get in for one. And we did bring in those harmonic slivers. So if it does kind of go into a long game, then maybe we can ultimately get by this welder. There's Spine of a Shah. In response, we actually should have targeted that Mutavault, or we should have made that Mutavault a creature. So they're going to start getting rid of our lands. Replay their Metalworker. 0 cards in hand. So unfortunately, I don't really know that we have a way to get by this welder. Because they're always going to be able to weld in like an ensnaring bridge. I mean, if they're always leaving it upright, there's no way that we're going to be able to just like attack. I'd almost have to have like a Mutavault and or a vial, like a harmonic sliver, and then the sliver that lets you bump them back to your hand. So we'll say okay. I'm going to kind of see how this runs out. Just to kind of see what else they have in their deck. But I think I'm going to want to bring in Surgical Extraction. Blightsteel Colossus is good. I think I'll concede to that. We will begin sideboarding. Meddling Mage seems all right now. Ivy Needle, Surgical Extraction, Harmonic Sliver definitely. So I think we might be able to just do like less lords here. We are bringing in a lot of 1-drops that we can't cast through a Chalice of the Void. I'm hoping that because they saw so many Cavern of Souls that they are taking Chalice of the Void out. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to take out the Lord effects. I mean, we still have plenty. We still have 7. We don't have to go super huge. We'll go ahead and submit that. I could have brought in... maybe not. Think about Caracas maybe for... Blightsteel Colossus, but... so... I think we can run Mutavault into Aether Vial. Next turn we can go no, so we'll want to go Cavern of Souls, Aether Vial. Next turn we go Crystalline Sliver, Galrider Sliver with the Aether Vial. So we'll go ahead and keep. It doesn't really have the answers maybe that we are typically looking for based on what we sideboarded, but I think it's a good start, and the Crystalline Sliver seems pretty good. So go ahead and name Sliver, Aether Vial. And the Aether Vial makes us a lot less soft to Blood Moon. Although honestly, I keep worrying about Blood Moon, but I don't think this is really like that red prison deck that I'm kind of worrying about. Because it seemed like with some of the lands they had that maybe Blood Moon would hurt them pretty bad as well. So maybe they're not really a Blood Moon deck. But I think I may have, played like a Slaver control deck like once or twice. So it's kind of hard for me to remember exactly what threats to worry about. Definitely want to pump the Vial to 1. There's Diffusion Sliver, so don't really need Diffusion Sliver after Kristen Sliver. But if they do have a way to somehow get rid of that, then I guess that's just like a good backup. We could put a Mutavault in and go Diffusion Sliver first. That'll give us a Mutavault. I think I like that. That's a little bit of a faster start. So not sure what the opponent's thinking here. So they can't target our Sliver. They don't have the mana. Here's Grim Monolith. Can't do anything about that. Go ahead and put in this Gale Rider Sliver. I think next turn, so we'll have the Gale Rider Sliver, Diffusion Sliver, Mutavault. So we should be able to get in for 4. We'll play another Mutavault. And there's Harmonic Sliver, actually, so this is very good. I think we'll destroy this Grim Monolith instead of attacking with the Mutavault. And I don't think we need to Vial in the Crystalline Sliver just yet. So this is actually an excellent, excellent draw. It should put him pretty behind. the opponent goes on 18. We got Aether Vial up for Crystalline Sliver. And so next turn, unless they have some way to block flying, we should be able to attack in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's an Ancient Tomb. If they want to use that, it's going to deal them a little bit of damage. Kind of help us race. Yeah, so what's kind of funny there is that if we had put Crystalline Sliver in, we would have had to destroy our own Aether Vial. But I think at this point, Aether Vial's done its job. It's gotten us ahead on mana quite a bit. And now with 4 lands, you know, and no way to like get ahead on card advantage, you know, we're just casting 1 creature a turn anyway. And then the turns that we don't, we're swinging with the Mutavaults. So, seemed pretty good there. Harmonic Sliver line up really well against the Grim Monolith. They have so many artifacts, it seems like probably one of like the all-stars in the matchup. Again, I was worried about Blood Moon. The deck is obviously super soft to it. I don't think there's a single land that wouldn't become a mountain in the deck. We do have the Aether Vials that could try to get around Blood Moon. Fortunately, a lot of Blood Moon decks are also probably running other prison elements like Chalice of the Void. So maybe Chalice of the Void on 1 turns off Aether Vial. If we're not able to get it down super early, might be running like Python Needle effects or like Phyrexian Revoker. And again, I might just be kind of like combining like the mud decks of Vintage with the mud decks of or like the prison decks of Legacy. But so yeah, Slivers, it's pretty fun. You know, not sure how really strong it would be because it does have some pretty big weaknesses like that Blood Moon issue. But so far, I've been doing pretty well with the deck, so it feels all right.